So, this is a review for the, an overview and review of the Ortlieb Ultimate 6 Pro Handlebar High Visibility version. No, 6 Plus Handlebar High Visibility version. So, this is the medium size. The large size is just a little bit bigger. Like, not enough to really justify, well, unless you need it. And there goes my cat, always being involved in the videos. So, I'll show you the high visibility aspect of it in a moment, but the bag comes with a carrying strap. I got it with the map case, map cover. It's a good choice, in my opinion, for over bags that don't have water repellency, because I keep things like my cell phone in here and in my handlebar bag, because it's just a good place in order to be able to have it accessible when you need it to, or when you need to find where you're going. This is what the size on the inside looks like. Just shove my hand in there for scale. Say about that deep. And the inside of this top is curved, and it has a sort of a stiff foam kind of top. I'll use this CD as a scale for seeing how deep this goes. So, about that deep. About that deep on there. There is a key clip on here, which is what I used on the trip for keeping track of keys. And this handy little holder right in here, which is where I kept my wallet and my key, well, not my wallet. I kept all my cards loose, which is a good idea in my opinion, because I met one truer who he lost his wallet on his trip and had to scramble to try to find stuff. And essentially, I only ever took one thing out of this handlebar bag at a time, and you can't lose everything when you only take out one card at a time. This has two small side pockets, zipper, so it goes from the back to the front on this side and back to the front on this side. This is the map case, which is an extra $25 and definitely a worthwhile purchase in my opinion. There's a variety of ways that you can sort of rig this thing up. The way that they suggested is sort of not the ideal version in my opinion. Like, the way they suggest is that you run these, well, you run this loop through these holes here in order to hold everything down all the way up there. And the reason why that's not very good in my opinion is every time you change a map panel, you're going to have to disassemble the entire thing. The trick that I figured out for what works for me is I get the map out, roll it over, close it up, and then this I just roll over the full time and slip under the little grommet points right here on the sides, and pull and snug it down. And this, in fact, there's all this bulk right here of this stuff, keeps anything from flying out under here. And that was about the best way I figured out that I could rig this up. For size, view of how big the inside is, just stuffing wise, say a Patagonia vest and a Patagonia wool top, both just loosely packed in here, say plenty of room. And what's really actually good about this open top right here is that you can have just have a lot of stuff deeply packed in here up to the very top, and still have room to slip a base layer into the top that will just sit here underneath the dome on the top of the bag. Okay, so continue. There's this internal framework kind of here for the bag as well, which is a good, it adds structure and it's good. I've gotten rained on multiple times with this bag, and water's never come through, and that's That's why you get Ortlieb. So it performed very well that way. I like the map case a lot. The one thing that I would change on the map case is you can probably see how this is a little bit shiny in the light. Well, when you're underneath hot sun all day, this actually becomes a big source of glare, and actually I'm pretty confident sunburn from underneath, from the shine off of it. Sort of a second issue. You can see it happening a bit right here. So the way these, I like this strap because it makes for easy carrying, but you can see part of the problem right now, which is, one, it can catch when you're trying to hook the handlebar bag top over the top. It'll catch, and that's a problem. But also at the same time, you can't really, you have to preset the straps to go over the lid in order to actually be able to use it. Like, and you can tell this side, I fixed it. This side, still unfixed. So you'd have to do that on both sides. Also, a second thing about the handlebar bag, about the handle, about the strap, is in order to get it off, you have to do this big, heavy click, which, when you combine the fact that this is sort of in the way, and this sort of little bit of ornery mechanism for getting it off, I'd really prefer like a gate clip for getting this off, just because, or have this just be a little bit lower in some way, like just like a ½ inch would make a big difference, I think. Especially because like it makes it hard to close the bag frequently. These little side pockets, because of sort of the floppiness of pulling it, as you can see right here, it makes using the using the pockets harder, because you can't really pull the entire way open, at least not on the bike, which is when you're going to be using this. Like, you're going to be sitting here trying to get this all the way open to get to something, and you have to work at it in order to get it the rest of the way open, because there's no structure to the mesh of it, and they are fairly small. You can keep little things like crackers or tools, chapstick in there. But unfortunately, like, the pockets could use some work. Like, maybe have them be longer width-wise, like bigger width-wise, have some kind of structure that provides some stability on the top here, on the top of the pocket. That'd be a good call. And I like this closing mechanism. You can do this one-handed. You can do this with a hand and your teeth, which is good, because like I ended up being able to figure out how to change maps without having to stop. And let's see. One thing that I'd had as an issue is when, and maybe I just have my setup wrong. I'll let you know if I find an improvement on it. But when hooked onto the bike and pedaling, unless I've got something underneath this, it'll do a bit of bobbing. And maybe it just might just be like some tiny amount like this. But I'm a very finicky person about like everything on my bike working well and not having problems. And something like that just bouncing for miles and miles makes me paranoid that I'm damaging it, or that it's screwed up, or that there's all kinds of problems with it. I'm trying to remember if this comes with it, but I believe, like, I received the internal organizer with this, which is I'll go get it and show you in a moment. So, this is the organizer, they call it, and it just slips in here, curve side down, to follow the curves of the bag. And I was really excited for this, because I organize things in my bag, because the more you do that, the less chance you're going to have for losing something or misplacing it, or any number of problems. But the problem that I had with this, and the reason why I've really never ended up using it, is that it inevitably wants to travel upward. And as it does, everything that you've got in here that you're trying to keep organized starts drifting from one space to another, and as that happens, it becomes actually impossible to get stuff out. Like if you've got your like your food bag in here, like a little Ziploc of granola or something, then it's going to start migrating underneath this, and you can't get to it anymore. Or like your camera starts going under here, your phone starts going underneath the middle, and stuff's just occupying two categories. And at the same time, it also doesn't go high enough to really block off stuff elsewhere. Like it's half the height it needs to be. Like it needs to go to the top of the lid. It needs to go all the way up to here. And since it doesn't, well, this is unfortunately in its current iteration useless. I'm going to turn off the lights and show you how well the high visibility aspect of this bag works. So you can see a little bit just from the shine from outside, but say you can see here, say reflects very well, and it's a good high visibility kind of item. It's done its job well for what I needed it for and what I wanted it for. So overall, I would definitely say this is a good choice bag for use for bicycle touring. There's definitely improvements that need to be made, but everything has that. Everything's got problems, unless you're very lucky and a manufacturer is very solid about things. I don't know. I definitely recommend if you're touring and want to use a map, or think you might ever get this. It's a worthwhile thing. Yeah, strap problems. I'll show you in a moment how this looks installed on the bike, but that's a quick second thing. And the high visibility, it's like an extra $25, I think. It's a worthwhile thing. I got this from theTouringStore.com, and they were very good, gave me a nice deal, and worked with me on items that I wanted to get that were outside of some specials they were doing, but they said, well, you could do this, and you could switch out this for that for just a certain amount more. And it was a good experience. Hence why I'm talking about them. Yeah, so I'm just going to show you how this looks on the bike. Okay, so I do not have a fancy mount for my camera, so I'll just carefully show you how to do this here. The hooks right there on the front of the handlebar bag mount hook into right up there. And so just put it up, move the strap out of the way for the map, and I'll just lift this out of the way so you can see a little bit better. So this hooks onto there. Generally, like, you could just shove this down if you wanted to, but I just generally always did this. Press the locking and unlocking button, and just drops on in. And there it is. And essentially, it'd be nice if they put a little bit of structure into this corner too. Oh, and also, this is a problem that frequently happens. You'll have to watch for it. When you pull down the top, it'll hook right there around that corner. Don't know why, but it's essentially something that, like, a little bit of wire or something there would just be, a little bit of wire right here would just be a great choice to have to be able to keep that stable. I suppose you could do the same thing to all this, like wire there, wire running through there to help push this out. And that is how it looks on the bike. Also, another thing, as you can tell, you have to be mindful of putting this inside the bag when you're going out and about. But the bag closes just fine with that. Back on there. The other side's doing that problem I just showed you with the corner that likes to pop in. But yep, and that's the cleaner angle now. And that's how the Ortlieb 6 medium ultimate plus handlebar bag, high visibility version. Looks and works. Hope this is useful for folks. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks. Bye.